There are about 4,000 homeless people in the state of Kentucky, and a little more than 500 between the city of Glasgow, Scottsville, Franklin, and the city of Bowling Green. For many, the only option is to walk the streets in search of some hope. In the same way, it could be said that the majority find refuge thanks to the fact that there are places where help is provided.
All right, my name is Stephen Carrier Jr. I come from Kalamazoo, Michigan. Went up to Battle Creek, Michigan when I was 16 years old. I got tired of the winters in Kalamazoo and Battle Creek, and I came up to Kentucky, and it's just beautiful up here. And after the 2 weeks I've been here, I got a job, and I'm just being successful in life. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody, and thank God. Yeah. Peace.
Even so, there are those who do not have the support of any public or private institution and try to survive in their own way in miserable conditions. These are the forgotten and despised by society. I believe we are smart enough to realize that the problem has become alarming in most of the big cities in this country. And it's starting to become a problem that is not unique to these big cities, and it doesn't seem to diminish. It is incredible that the number of homeless people has reached thousands and even tens of thousands in many of these large cities. Many towns and rural areas have begun to deal with the problem, which has created discomfort in some people, to the point of taking drastic actions against the problem. Without a doubt, there is something about these innocent people that bothers them. Perhaps some people believe that the problem has diminished by no longer seeing so many homeless people in the corner store asking for a coin, but not because some rational solution has been reached, but because the owners of these businesses decided to exercise the right to private property, demanding to the authorities to evict these homeless people from their facilities. In the same way, some citizens do not find it comfortable to see these homeless people next to the sidewalk or in public parks. So anyone who does not have the appearance and sufficient condition that satisfies the nonconformist and indifferent citizens has begun to be evicted. You're going to the store to fill up on gas, then you notice them. We find them in parks and vacant lots, or wherever they can get enough shelter to survive another day. It is true that most have fallen into drugs, perhaps because of the situation or because drugs were what led them to that situation. There are endless reasons that led these human beings to abandon their apparently normal lives, to adventure themselves into an unfortunate adventure of fate. Let's watch and hear what they have to say.
To be an addict and to you don't have to actively be one. You can always stop and try to get yourself better. And, but to be homeless with it is it's close to unbearable. But you can do it. It's just a lot of work. To lose loved ones during the process is unthinkable. And sometimes, no matter how hard you do to try to do the right thing, shit happens. This is how it is. Life is hard, and it's hard for everybody.
Okay, well, my name is Valerie Thompson, and I'm from Madisonville, Kentucky. I have two beautiful daughters and grandbaby number 5 on the way. I was a victim of circumstance in Oklahoma. I was almost killed by a guy I wanted there to be with. Ended up in prison. Completed 7 years and 366 days. Got out and society, I got back home and society just wasn't, as accepting as I thought they would be.
Okay, my name is Leanne Miller. I'm actually from Christian County, Kentucky. I was born there. I was adopted and raised up in Muhlenberg County, Kentucky. I have been a resident of this county, Bowling Green, and also I previously came from Morgantown, Kentucky. I'm here because I'm homeless and I choose to be. I choose to be because of domestic abuse and because I have a brain injury and a lot more reasons, but we can't get into all those. But I'm here.
And my name is James Montana Garrison, an original outlaw from the days gone by.
My name's Amy Ottersbach. I'm 29 years old. I was living on government assistance for about 6 years when I got pregnant with my first son. His name's Tyler. I was staying at Country Place Apartments in Scottsville, Kentucky. God, it's hard to talk about. I think I'm gonna cry. I got with somebody, and from there, he had a job and everything, but he refused to go on my lease. We moved out to my mother's, or so she claims to be my mother. I mean, I wouldn't be homeless. My kids, I got a stay away warrant on me because apparently I have too much pent up aggression, and I said I didn't want to move out to her house. She has 2 or 3 families already living with her, and they were bitching about food. And mind you, I had government assistance, which is EBT and WellCare, Medicaid for my kids and me. And I was getting $364 in child support a month on one kid, the other kid's father I was with. We moved out there. I've been homeless for about a year now. He's moved in with his mother. He has an apartment to himself with his brother, in Tennessee, that we could have went to, took my kids to. I didn't want to go to my mother's because I wanted my kids to be in a happy home. And now I have a stay away warrant, and I've been homeless for a fucking year, and I've been doing everything I can for my kids, everything. It's kind of different when the mother love gets stripped away from you, you know what I mean? It's been hard. It's been really fucking hard. And I don't want to cry, because I've been crying. I cried, y'all. I cried in a car outside my mother's house for a year.
My name is Jason Crawford, Jason Wade Crawford, W-A-D-E, and I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana. All right. Spent my whole life in Indianapolis, except for 3 years I lived in Florida, in St. Pete and Tampa. I lived in West Tennessee and Middle Tennessee the last 8 years, since June 15th, June 28th of 2015.
My name is David Lugo, L-U-G-O, Mason, M-A-S-O-N, 11/29/2005, which is 11/29/2022. It's my son Malachi Noel Lugo Mason's birthday. Been here 20 years. I've suffered a lot of injustices. A lot of people know me. They don't know me. New friends, new family I haven't met. Been struggling with a girlfriend. People get mad because I got a chip on my shoulder, bad attitude, but I'm friendly with everybody. Kind of like mercenary work. I volunteer. I'm willing to work hard. I do got COPD. I got from extensive drug use. I have lung disease.
My name is Joseph McKinney. I was born here between Bowling Green, Kentucky and Morgantown, Kentucky, and Back City, Texas. I got 3 birth dates. I got 24, 26, 28. Mom says I was born on 24, so I figured she was there. Papa says I was born on 26, and my birth certificate says I was born on 28. I only know one other guy like that, and we had the same doctor. Didn't have computers back in 1969 like we do now, so they had to write this stuff out. So I figure Mom had me on the 24th. Papa came to see me on 26, and they released me on the 28th. Done all the paperwork that day. So.
My name is David Fox, and I think we're doing a video as opposed to the homeless and how hard it is, and how society treats them like dogs is what I think. And what I've seen, and it's BS.
Okay, my name is Matthew Hale, aka Thumper. I am known for Bowling Green. I am known a knockout artist. But I also have respect and loyalty in my veins. You know, I have sit here and try to help out people when I'm homeless. I am homeless. I'm sitting out here with one of my homies right here, looking at them right now. And I'll tell them, look, bro, it's not fair. It's us. But at the same time, it's also what we do too.
The emptiness of my life. Coming out of Cleveland, Mississippi, being poisoned by Roundup. I got the Roundup suit going on right now, but I've got a GI coming up at the end of the month and a blood test to check for the biological stuff of Roundup.
I fell back into drugs because I come back to old hurts, habits, and hang-ups. I found out that I was being hunted down by my ex-boyfriend, John Holmes Jr. He had 2 guns looking for me. He was going to kill me. And I was working for the mayor of Madisonville at Brothers Barbecue. I was doing good. I was at Elizabeth House in Nebo, Kentucky, which is for women that's abused, battered, and homeless, you know, and domestic disputes, and also families, you know. And really good place, and I was sober for over 150 days. And I was told by somebody that I worked with that he had 2 guns looking for me, and it threw me back in my addiction.
My grandmother passed away. That Danny song, Dancing in the Sky, I beat on the window like a couple hundred times, saying I wasn't singing it right after she passed away. At her funeral, everybody was asking me for pills. They were asking me where they could buy some pills at. It's hard, really hard. I don't like talking about this shit because I'm like, I feel like I'm a circus to somebody's show. You know what I mean?
I started drinking, and drinking is not my vice. It's meth. Meth I didn't touch till I was 38. I shot up a total of 30 times and lost a whole person. I got down to 160 pounds, and in a weird strange of events, me going back to drinking led me back to, after 150 days of being sober, going back to meth. My friend, we hadn't spoken in over a year. Her name was Tara Holmes. And we went out and we partied for 3 days. And she was given a pill. And I found my friend dead from fentanyl. That threw me into a loop. And I ended up where there was drugs in Dawson Springs, Kentucky. And I ended up from there going to Russellville to my friends. And then I ended up here. And so far, I've been 2 months sober.
What made me homeless? I started out in probably 77 or 78, living in a trailer that a friend gave me to live in. It was too hot in Mississippi, too cold in Mississippi. I lived through the ice storm that was there. Me and my wife had to move to her mama's house to get out of the cold. She's no longer with me. She's remarried. I wish her the best. How I actually become homeless is this time. I was with a girl named Corinne, taking her to Great Western Truck Company. I thought we would be something. Come to find out she was gay. I left her on her birthday. I hope she had a good cry. But I was left in my truck, like yours, and the rear axle broke. An F-150, just like yours. Only it wasn't four-wheel drive, but it was the two-wheel drive. And it axle broke. I ended up living in the woods behind Walmart in Gatlin, Tennessee.
And the reason I was first homeless in my life, I never had to be homeless and I never should have been, was because I decided to experiment with meth and see what I thought about it.
I'd say last 20 years, methamphetamine use. Before that, Not prescription pills. I hate pills because I was on mood stabilizers and.
I sold it before I ever did it. I would hustle a little bit, try to do this. I thought it was the right thing for me to do, you know. I watched what was going on around me and was like, this is what it is, you know. Gangster. Want to be a gangster? Of course.
Well, I was born and raised up north in East Chicago, Gary, Indiana, and I used to run around and do very foolish things, but run the streets and gangbang and all that, and never really worked out for me. But this is what I got of. This is where I come from. This is what I made of it. Nothing.
And then the other day they just put no laundering and no can't be sitting up here.
And put us out in the cold.
And put us out in the cold.
Yeah.
Just because. And we're out here struggling, hungry and stuff. And people won't even help us. Some people will help us out. You know, who people we know. But with them in there, they'll sit there and treat us like stuff. When we come in trying to buy something, hurry up and get the hell up and buy out.
Oh, hurry up and go.
Hurry up and go. You know, you can't come in here.
Like,
they treat us like shit, just like the BGPD. Look, the BGPD. They'll sit there and look at me right now for 30 minutes ago with binoculars on and turn the lights off. They know that I go to jail if my son has got that problem. And that is not fair. I have 2 kids. I have lost both of my kids because of my situation right now. It ain't my fault. You know, that I had to lose everything, but it's my fault that I came in an addict because of situations I've been through. You know what I mean? I just lost my uncle. You know, Baki, R.I.P. to him.
R.I.P. You know, King Baki.
King Baki, that's my uncle. I'm gonna respect him no matter what. You know, I miss him every day. I miss my baby mama. I couldn't even tell my baby mama for Thanksgiving, Happy Thanksgiving, because why? The other girlfriend she got is gonna block me on Facebook.
Oh, not people block.
That puts me into a bind. We out here struggling every day. We come up here every day just because we're homeless and people we know help us out, but they don't. They don't help us at all. BGPD don't help us. They take us to jail. Oh yeah, you get 3 meals in the car, but what about the fucking food at the nighttime? We supposed to get 3 meals.
Let's get out the street.
But we have to do time for
That's
it,
what
though.
I'm saying.
But it's not fair to us. It's really not. This man got kids too. He can't even fucking go to his baby mom because he's an addict too.
I mean, yeah.
And we're homeless. He just lost his wife. He just lost his baby mama and his parents because we are. We try so much. We try to do everything we can. We can't even get an ID. We got to wait. We got to go off the loops. It's bull. We need help.
You know, I'm a compulsive liar, stole from my family. It was uncomfortable at times. I was a problem child. I had different social problems and developmental problems. I didn't say nothing but no in different tones. If I wanted something, I'd say no, like nicely, like no. But if I didn't want to say nothing, it'd be no. And my mother tickled me till I pissed on myself, and I hate to be tickled.
And I'm like, where's love? Where's truth at? I'll tell you the truth, what I've been through, what I walked through. I got blisters, not blisters, cuts in my hands because they're cold. And I washed my hands so much they're dry and cracking, they're swollen because I walk everywhere, literally everywhere.
Help. You know, and why can't we just
It sucks sometimes.
It does. And like right now, it's about to rain. You know what I mean? And we're gonna still sit out here. We sit here cold. I've been with these people, and I bring them in bandos. I will kick a door in before anything to let these people right here. These people right here, I will kick a door in and say, hey, come on, bro. Let's go get warm.
Real quick.
Man, I don't care if lunch you get it. I'll kick it in because I respect these people. These people are like family to me. My family abandoned me, yeah. But at the same time, do I still have family? Yeah. But I still miss Tanisha Whitelow. I still have feelings for my baby mama. But at the end of the day, situation happens. We are all addicts, and we all need help.
Right there, man. Like that right there.
Mentally and physically, you know what I mean? But I still will ride with all these people because we're homies. We always got to stick together. Other people don't not want to stick together no more. Situations in our lives is different, and that's what we need help on. I mean, we are hungry and stuff every day, and we'll sit here and we'll take our freedom that goes across that line right here. It doesn't matter what it is. I will run from the police before they touch me. And that's not fair to us. You know, see, we're risking right now. We're risking it. We don't care because you know why? Because we are all men. We have rights as well as anybody else. We do got rights. And our right is to have our right to go help, try to get help.
I've been in prison most of my life. And this is what I got. Nothing. But I ain't gonna give up. I'm gonna keep doing the best I can. And hopefully start working and going to church. And maybe I won't be alone.
I said some hateful things about my family, which I apologize 100 times, and I'm still out in the cold. I mean, my aunt tried to help me, but after she left for a weekend, I got the cops called on me because I had FTA. I had to serve like 28 days there, and then I got shipped to Scottsville. I had a friend help me out for a day, and then I walked off, ended up in Bowling Green, which the police took. Well, didn't end up in Bowling Green. I ended up at the police station in Scottsville after trying to go stay with a cousin. That didn't work out. I went to Western State for a 72-hour hold. They brought me to Bowling Green. I got arrested on another FTA.
I'm here for the children and for the animals that don't have no one or no one to love them, and especially at Christmas time, it's the best time to give. And I've been out here scouting. It's helped me overcome some fear, and it's built some courage up in me. And I want the ball right now, but I'm going to hold that back for later. And I'm here just to show that I'm working for God, and I'm going to let God have all the benefits of what I'm doing. I'm not actually wanting the money. It's not for me. God's using me to build my strength and courage up to become the person I used to be, not who I am now. And been down like really low. And in the last 3 days that I have been homeless, it's been a blessing to me because I've come from all walks of life and all origins and ancestries and whatnot. My point is, I've been the happiest in the last 3 days, and I've been in the last 3 months, and possibly could say even 3 years, because I've been around some people that are genuine and real, and they have walked in my shoes, and definitely I am walking in theirs. And I'm here today for the children, again, that don't have no one or nothing, and it's Christmas time, and I'm doing Jesus' work, and in His name I give Him all the glory.
I'm homeless right now, have been for quite some time, and this is the reason why I've been homeless. The reason why I've been homeless is because my mother's passed away, my father's passed away. It's all of these regrets and resentments that I've had through childhood. There's another gentleman that I'm not going to mention his name, but he's taught me some things about ACEs, and that's childhood trauma. So I don't know. I'm not trying to teach you guys anything. I'm just trying to show you what I know from my experience. I'm out here because my heart's hurt. You know, it's a constant battle between the child and mine because I want my family back. I was married for 30 years, had a beautiful wife. I don't even like to call her ex-wife. You know what I'm saying? I haven't seen her since 2017. Haven't heard from her since 2018. You know, and so I mean, I've been through all these recovery places. I've been in Nashville. I've been in Tennessee, Kentucky, and Indiana. And always getting in trouble because I'll end up with the wrong people trying to give my love away to them, and they just use me. And that's my naiveness. You know what I'm saying? So I'm out here because sometimes I just, like today, I mean, I really don't know. I want to do something, but yet I'm not brave enough to do it. You know what I'm saying? So I want to go back into recovery, but then again, I can't hardly stand the other guys that's in recovery, most of them. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like I'm jaded now for some reason, but I'm not jaded. You know what I'm saying? But I'm hurt.
I am 52 years old, and I'm trying to rebuild my life due, again, to the domestic abuse. And I've had a brain injury, and I also have a brain tumor survivor, and for a lot more reasons. But for the biggest part, it was to build my courage up to be a stronger person in Jesus' name.
I lived 5 years in the Kmart parking lot behind Kmart in Gallatin, Tennessee. Before a friend told me to move to Cave City, Cave City Star Motel was full of mice, rats, roaches, and bed bugs. I moved out, came to Bowling Green, found myself homeless at the Red, White, and Blue Tower for 6 to 7 months. And then I got lucky enough to be placed in the Salvation Army. Right now I'm working on housing to get everything done that has to be done under their guidelines to do this. I sit out here and play guitar to enjoy myself and write music, and also to play other music that other musicians do, along with the radio and the sheet music that I got. I've got maybe 50 different artists. David Allan Cole, Waylon Jennings, The Outlaws, other bands, Aerosmith, the other bands, Rolling Stones, the other bands, Leonard Skinner. And I do this with a friend of mine when he sits down to play. But he hasn't sat down to play because the guitars have been too cold lately. I just got lucky enough the last 2 days to play the guitar myself because it's been too cold.
My experience shows me everything that I need to know if I listen to it long enough to do something with it. Life is an action word, so is love. So you know what I'm saying? You got to learn the words. I can't just spit something out 1 minute and tell you one thing and not do anything about it. So this is a day at a time. This is recovery. You don't have to be in recovery to learn any of this. This is just common sense on a day-to-day basis. You know what I'm saying? You can be generous, kind, and loving. But my expectations and my perspective get in the way, and I stop being nice or kind because I expect more from you than you can possibly give to me. So if I give somebody $10, I shouldn't worry about what I do with that $10. I've done my part. Now it's up to you to do it. You know what I'm saying? Money's not good nor evil. You know what I'm saying? That plays a big part because without money you cannot survive in this world. We know this. Right? So, but I have been doing it for quite some time. But for the grace of God, there go I. So I don't know what else to say about that.
And as far as, you know, women being on the streets is more acceptable than men because they think, oh, well, a man put a woman here or he could work and all this other stuff. Well, you know, sure enough, but I know a lot of women that I'm in that dorm with that are victims of circumstance and that nobody should be frowned upon because they're homeless. It's not, you know, maybe we're being the hands and feet of Jesus. You know, that's how I look at it. You know, the guy that I was with, I lost my 2-year-old daughter in 2005 of hypothermia, and I didn't get mental health for it until going to jail in Oklahoma in 2018. I did not know that the whole time I was self-medicating because I never touched meth before until I was 38, 39 years old. And I was locked up by the time I was 40, 41. And it's not a good thing, but I don't judge people that do it. I try to tell them, look, you know, there is a way out. You're gonna make it. I've never done the 12 steps. I go by 2 Corinthians 5:17, which says, "For the old has come to pass, and we are a new creation in Christ."
I got myself here by making my way to town due to a domestic abuse situation 3 days ago, which I got a concussion with a man knowing that I had a brain injury because I've been married and been with this man for 10 years. And it seemed like the light that was shining through me, through my Jesus Christ, made him more scared. And I don't know what his issues are, but I had prayed on him, prayed for him, and I will always continue to pray for him. I'll always love him, but the violence that he has put me through has brought me to the situation that I have put myself in today, and I chose to be this way, and I love each and every moment of it because it's made me come out of my shell real quick.
And as far as being homeless, you know, I just think I'm out here for a purpose, and there's a purpose and a cause for everything. And because God put me here, then I'm going to leave a legacy, just like you were talking about leaving a legacy. of when you get to heaven and God's going to ask you. You know, we're all children of the Lord. Unfortunately, we're not all creation. We're a creation of the Lord, but we're not children of the Lord until we give Him our heart, it's our salvation. And we have to go through the Son to get to the Father. You know, so I think just sowing that seed and being the hands and feet of Jesus is more rewarding to me than anything. Money doesn't mean anything. It's not going to go with me. I'm not going to take a U-Haul with me. It's not about the material stuff, you know. But being out here and witnessing to people and giving them testimony is what I think I'm meant to do.
Yes, it's happening right now. The first day I was scared to step over that line. After I crossed that threshold, He has put smiles on my face. He's put food in my stomach. He's given me courage to keep fighting for what I believe in. And I'm not here for people's money like today. I was just walking for Jesus, showing them that, and saying prayers for them, whatever that prayer might be that I had at the time. But He put me out here to build my courage and strength up in my fear of the unknown. And each and every day has been a blessing, and I can't wait to see what tomorrow brings. I'm going to keep fighting this for a while because I want to become stronger. I want to become the person that I used to be. Yes. But now I have a bigger heart and I have more understanding and care than I used to have. I just want that kind of like, you know, kicking the butt to get going kind of thing. Yeah. You know, I didn't care before.
I feel you.
You know, I have preachers look at me because I had done 45 Bible studies in prison. I didn't hear from my family. I was in jail for quite a long time. I was a victim of circumstance in jail too, pepper sprayed and everything in Comanche County Jail. Knowing that I was very much intoxicated, because I just think that people can be approached differently. Drug addicts are frowned upon. I was treated like crap at the emergency room at Baptist Health Deaconess, and by the paramedic that told the nurse that the oxygen was only for looks. It threw me into anxiety attack, and then finding my friend dead threw me into a whirlwind, and I knew I was going to end up with that needle back in my arm. And luckily enough, I knew God had changed me, because I turned away from it quickly. You know, when you repent, you go and do it no more. You know.
But when I was younger, I didn't know how to love myself. You know, I didn't know how to love God. Not really, because I went to church. I was took to church. My biological mother, she did right. She couldn't take care of me when I was little, so she would she gave me to my grandparents, you know, to take care of me. That's what you do when you have a child you can't take care of. That's the best thing a mother could do, is say, hey, I can't take care of this child. I can't take care of this child. So here, you let somebody that can take care of a child take care of them, right? And she always thought, she loved to tell people I hated her because of that. Well, that wasn't true. I loved her for that.
That's me not giving up. That's me. You took my motherly love away from me. You put a stay away warrant on me. Right. My so-called mother put a stay away warrant on me. The jail hell told me that. The jailers told me that she put a stay away. And I contacted for over a year C.J. Higdon for Tyler Vincent Ottersbach, Tyler Vincent Blake. I cursed him with 4 names, poor guy. He'll get over it. That's not funny, but I mean, hopefully they're in a loving home. I want if my kids are straight, I'm good. I will stay homeless, but I'm not going to court over that. I've been going to court for PIs, and one failure to appear because of a PI actually. And instead of just doing 8 hours for a PI, they kept me for 4 days. They kept me for a whole weekend, and that's supposed to be time served, and they still slapped on the fucking payments that they know I couldn't pay, and then slapped on the maximum sentencing of 30 days of failure to appear.
So the first time I was ever homeless, I had gotten into the drugs. I went to prison for killing my best friend 28 years ago yesterday, December 4th, 1994. I did not mean to hurt him. I would never have harmed him, you know, but I thought this, that, and the other. Being a young kid, scared to stand up for himself, hard-headed, not wanting to fight, didn't want to fight. Didn't want to fight, not really. Scared of it, intimidated, I guess, but more hard-headed, not wanting to stand up for myself. Trying to just go fishing and chase butterflies and go mushroom hunting. But of course, as a young man, it's how we get. We go, well, you know, you got to be this. And I started worrying about all the wrong things. Started worrying about, well, this and that. And I hated those kids all these years. Even 6 years ago, I was like, called my bully, and I was like, hey man, you know, I'm gonna mess you up. He's like, what? Click. And I had to call him. He's like, so let me get it straight. This is from Rhodes Elementary School. See, but I didn't realize that you never know what these kids are going through at home. I had lived my whole life worrying about all the wrong things.
Relationship in me, like a boyfriend, girlfriend, or girlfriend, I don't care what you call it. Like, it's not for me. I learned that in my life. I'm like, ew, that's so disgusting. And plus, it's landed me homeless for like a year. Like, if you cared about your mother of your children, and I got 2 baby daddies, 2, one's a construction worker, the other one welds, both making good money. Why is the mother to your children, and they were raised properly before, okay, the second one came after I got in a relationship. You know what I mean? I was gonna cut ties, seen all the red flags. I seen all the red flags. But I was like, no, I'm gonna love him even harder. He just need more love. Because love wins in the end, right? Right? And I'm over here thinking big. Because love wins in the end. Love is love, apparently. And love can be classified as so many things. And you have to love the ugly, even when they being ugly. And that's not how it was for me. My heart too big. I wear it on my sleeve. It's my problem. That's my problem.
Vigilante. Boondock Saints, way before the Boondock Saints was even written. That was in my mind at 18. I was like, well, once I realized I could make a fist too. And maybe stand up for myself a little bit, because my people around me was tough. Them guys all had hands, and they was all mean, a lot of them. You know, a lot of them had different upbringings than I did. I was spoiled rotten with love and everything. I had a childhood and a life a lot of men would love to have. I've had a lot of love in my life. Some of it excessive, to the point of not having to learn like a lot of these kids did that were in a harder situation. You know, you got like the book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. You know, you got one kid came up this way, one kid came up this way. We come up just how God intended us to come up. You know, we learn from it. We're supposed to learn. So.
My expectations of society should be just like my grandma. You know, nice, kind, wonderful, strict, you know, loving, caring, and generous with love, you know, to a point. You know, you can't. I really can't expect anything from society. You know? See, that was my hang-up. I was expecting all these things. It's called entitlement. You know what I'm saying? I'm not entitled to anything, not even the next breath I take. So I'm not promised that. So I have to use the time that's given to me, you know what I'm saying, to do something with. And I found that it's more easier to get away from the money part of anything, you know, I don't know if you've ever heard of Eckhart Tolle. He talks about staying in the now. And then there's Brendan Manning. Brendan Manning was a World War II Korean veteran. He wrote a book called The Ragamuffin Gospel. And he talks about spirituality and how much God loves me. It's not about how much we should worry about what he's doing, but worry about what we're doing to do for him. You know what I'm saying? So it's been a spiritual journey. It's been a heck of a journey.
Trying to fix myself and beat the dragon, just keep the monster off my back. Trying to fight my addiction and work hard and take care of my loved ones.
I found myself in Lexington and Louisville and Indianapolis and Nashville, and I'm trying to spark fire up underneath somebody else. I'm trying to give inspiration to someone else to give me an inspiration. Here, I'll give you a little bit of this and see where you go with that, and see if I can catch on, you know what I'm saying? Or keep motivated to keep doing it like I did a while ago, you know what I'm saying? I do stuff like that all the time because it's material stuff. Material stuff doesn't mean anything. It's the heart that bothers me, you know what I'm saying? It's not the home. And I would love to have a home to go to. I mean, that's a great thing to have. You know? It's a must-have. So you get cold again. And nobody likes to sleep in a viaduct or beneath the bridge, but they do, for whatever reason. Some people are running, Some people are just scared, fear-driven. You know, some people are just manic depressive, bipolar, PTSD. Some of them are ex-military. Some of them draw $1,800 pension checks a month, and within 4 or 5 days after they get the first one, they're broke. You know, that's alcohol, drug addiction. You know.
So I just want to help people, and you know, just like you're helping people do this and getting people's stories out there. I am far away from home, and I do miss my family today, Thanksgiving. But they know that Mama always said you don't need a special day to have a meal. So that's pretty much me in a nutshell. And I have some beautiful grandchildren too. So, and I get to name my grandson. So coming in January. So it's my goal to you know, get up off my feet, get an apartment here, and get a car, and just go back and forth to see them. Because Madisonville is not, they don't even live in Madisonville. Madisonville is a good place. It's just, you got to change people, places, and things. That's the only thing I believe about recovery and the 12 steps. Otherwise, Jesus is my sponsor.
That's all you can do. If it's just a smile, that means a lot, you know. Yeah. It doesn't have to be money. It could be a hug. I'm a hugger. I love to hug. Just lifting their spirits up is nothing money can buy. You know, just give them the correct the words they need to hear. Yeah. Let them know that you do care. Just hug them and tell them, give them a word of advice. That's all you can do.
If you lose gratitude, if you gave me a penny, I better be grateful for that penny. If you give me a book, a shirt, a jacket, a pair of shoes, you better throw some gratitude in it, because if you don't, karma's gonna come back and bite you right there in the butt. I believe that. It's the little things in life that matter the most. It's the time I spend with you and on this whatever documentary, you know what I'm saying? It's not monetary, but maybe it might help somebody from having to go till they're 53 to go, well, poor me. No, don't do that. Put the shovel and baseball bat down. That's the best thing I can tell them right now.
God's gift to me was my soft, loving, kind, compassionate, gentle, tender hands. My whole life, and that's why I got this. I just got this recently to glorify God. Semicolons are all in here, the heart. Dave Silness, one of my best friends, taught me everything in the world. He's in prison right now, got stomach bone, colon cancer. He lost his mom, Shelby. She died of breast cancer 3 or 4 years ago. Maybe my time frame might be off. His brother Billy had a heart attack. I love them too. His dad had his leg amputated. You know, I was talking to a friend of mine, Stubby, Jason Grant, up in India. I was like, man, I'm not up there, and I don't really want to go up there. I'm not going there. There ain't nothing up there left. Everybody's dead and in prison and gone. You know, Mom and Pop died. You know, but Dave Silness was a big instrumental part of my life, man. He's in prison, did this, whatever he did, woo, allegedly did this and that. One of the toughest guys I ever met. One of the best hearts I ever met, too. Never taught me nothing bad. Always taught me, hey, why don't you quit trying to be a tough guy and live your life? Why don't you quit trying to be this guy and just be a good guy? Because he knew. I've known these guys since first grade, man. You know, and we all loved each other. And, well, they loved me, but they never saw me stand up, you know.
And here I am fixing to turn 64 years old, and a lot of my friends are not around anymore. Suicide, drug overdoses, car wrecks, drag racing wrecks, motorcycle wrecks, and other things that came along, suicides. A friend of mine stuck an AK-47, name was James Kitchens, put an AK-47 in his mouth, pulled the trigger over a girl. But I have a good life. I enjoy sitting out here playing guitar to the radio and to the sheet music that I play. I play all kinds of sheet music.
I'm fearless now. Not because I'm tough. Because 2 Timothy 1:7 tells us, our Father hath not given us a spirit of fear, but one of power, one of love, and one of a sound mind. Self-control, self-discipline. And when I was younger, my biological mother, you know, she tried to do right. She took me to church, and I had the opportunity to go to church. Always had an excuse for everything. Didn't want to go to school. I'm sick. It says in the Bible, a slothful man will say, there's a lion in the way, there's a lion in the streets. My approach was different. As a child, I'd be like, Mom, I'm sick and the lion's sick too. We can't go. Okay. I'm sick. We can't go. You need to go. Get up and go.
Some people don't want to hear about the Lord. In certain circumstances like this, they'll either turn toward God or away from God. But they got to realize, you know, God sent His only Son to die on the cross for us. You know, And it's no cliche. I mean, there's 2 robbers on Calvary Mountain beside Jesus, and where I want to be is women can't be ministers, they can't be pastors, okay, biblically. But, you know, but being the hands and feet of Jesus is pretty much where I want to stay. I want to help people. I don't want to do it for, you know, this amount of money and this amount of money, you know, and all this and all that. Like I said, material stuff doesn't mean anything to me. I want to leave a legacy. You know, when you get out of prison from doing helping women recover, you leave a legacy, and that's you leaving behind your picture, your time stamp. You know, hey, I made it, and you can too. So even, you know, these people that drive around and they help feed the homeless, or they give back and they give their time and everything, knowing there's not much money in it, they're really, really good people. And I want to get back to the United Caring Shelter. I want to cook for them. I want to, you know, help the Salvation Army, maybe, you know, where women can have more personal stuff there, you know, their clothes and whatnot, and men too. And we're, you know, even though the temperature comes up 1 degree, that we shouldn't have to go outside. I understand that that's the, you know, that's the rules of when you got an organization that, you know, they just want you to get out there and learn a trade. You know, they want you to get back on your feet just as much as you want to get back on your feet. But it's whatever you put into it is what you're going to get out of it.
I can't fix anybody else. That's what they're trying to do for years, trying to fix everybody else. But if they just act like this, if they just do this, if they just fix it, if they just do what I want them to do, wouldn't it be a wonderful world? No, it'd be a boring ass world. Everybody have everything. What's the fun in that, right? So learning how to be self-sufficient, even at 53, because I had all these neighbors, codependent. I'm saying it was helping me that I was too selfish and stupid to understand they were actually trying to help me. Has hurt me because I'm expecting that title. Well, don't you understand what I used to have? I don't have it now. Don't you understand? I'm not a bum. Fuck you. Next. Before you know it, you're beating yourself up. Before you know, you got all these negative thoughts going through your mind. The only thing good you can think about is the next cup of coffee you're going to, you know, or the next drug you're going to do. That's the only goodness that's out here right now, to be honest with you. Unless you got somebody with you that you're trying to work together and build something together. I see a lot of that out there, which is wonderful, because within 6 weeks or so, you don't see them on the street no more. They got their shit together again, you know, so oops, I messed up, we don't want to do that again. And so they come together, and they become a family again. And they begin to grow into community again. They become part of a productive society in that community, and they come back out and start helping. You know, I can't keep anything I have. In order to keep what I have to give it away.
So will you look for a job or you have a chance?
I don't want to, no.
You don't
I'm
want?
going to stay like this.
Wow.
Because, I mean, there's places that will help you. You can go to Salvation Army to eat. They open the doors at 12.
So are you planning to stay like this forever?
Yeah. It forever works for me. I mean, I think I can support it. I worked literally my whole life for free. Went to every family member's. I ran from happiness, because 9 times out of 10 something bad about to go down, and 9 times out of 10 I was right. There's always something bad about to happen. Always. And I'm like, yeah. And then I got the blame for it. I'm like, well, no, here's what you say, here's what I did, here's what you say, here's what I said. You know what I mean? It's like, you're not going to throw me up underneath the bus, because I'm going to take you there with me. I'm going to burn that bridge. But I guess we about to head out.
Yeah, well, this one lady told me that that there was no food for lunch, for her to fix my lunch. And this is me starting working, and my boss over there at Lifeguard Press made sure, he's like, Valerie, I'm gonna buy your lunch today. She was constantly just telling me, but she's at the front desk and she's sweating profusely. Okay, there's no doubt that this woman is on drugs. Okay, but you're gonna sit there and you're gonna pass judgment on us and everybody that comes every morning. I see her. She's always got something negative to say about the homeless. Okay, if you're not in this job for love, if you're not in it and your heart's not in it, then get out of it. Get out of it, because let me tell you something. You got to do You know, it's not what would Jesus do, it's what did Jesus do. He died on that cross for us. By his stripes we are healed. And we didn't ask to be put here. You know, and you were once here, and I'm happy you got your life back, but don't tell me that there's no lunch whenever there, you know, if I've been to food pantries a lot, okay? And I don't think it's fair that there's food right next door, and you're telling me that there's no way that the Salvation Army is out of food.
I'm not going to mention any names because I ain't trying to incriminate nobody. But I have seen some what so-called recovery homes take the money and do whatever. You know what I'm saying? Jealousy against them for whatever reason. It's none of my damn business what they do. But if you throw another man out because he didn't pay his rent and he's looking for help, it's wrong. You shouldn't do that. But if he's becoming a sore to the community that he's in, you know, one bad apple spoiled the whole bunch. You have to separate that because you don't want that negativity to be brought into that home. As far as the government and stuff like that goes, I think they're doing okay as far as that goes. It's just, they're doing what they can.
Miss Dottie makes a way. She makes a way, and you know, and Miss Latanya, she's great, and Miss Monica, you know, her heart's all in it. Her and her husband, they're really good people. And Donnie, he can relate, you know. And Kenny always makes sure I have lunch, but to get lunch from this woman was like it was like getting teeth pulled, and I never did. And I was like, man, why do I have to be at a shelter and be doing what I'm doing, not out there doing the most, working right over there, and not being fed? You know, and obviously, you can tell I have the gift of discernment, and you can tell when somebody is in this for the ministry. You know, at Elizabeth House in Nebo, Kentucky, Josh and Jessica Webster went and checked this out because the people wanted to retire, and they never asked for money. We never went hungry, and you can tell he left a job that he was making $100,000 a year doing, and to do this ministry. They were going to take their ministry out on the street, and you know, and this is the place that I screwed up being at because of my mouth, and I hate that I feel like I'm walking on eggshells at the Salvation Army sometimes.
Don't shut the door to a man who needs help. If he asks for help, he obviously needs help.
Don't kick him out. Don't turn him away. You know, I have a mentoring certificate from prison.
Be careful. Be wise.
But I mean, there should be a detox for these homeless shelters. They should be fed with the word. They should be fed with the meal. They should be fed like and know how to reintegrate it back into society. You know, MC Hammer is a preacher now, and he walked the yard where I done A&R at in Mabel Bassett in McLeod County, Oklahoma, and he's about women getting reintegrated back in the workforce. Okay, and it's hard, but it's twice as hard for the men because they're like, oh, they're men. Why aren't they working? You know, how do they know? Everybody has an individual circumstance. Unless you walk a mile in my shoes, don't judge me.
You know, I'm almost 30 years old. That's enough is enough. Cost a lot. But you know, I still risk my freedom. You know what I mean? And that's one thing we do every day. We got here cold. Look, we have one clothes. I ain't having no clothes. I mean, we can't even take a shower. I know I don't like having a dirty asshole.
Everywhere we go, we get looked at like
we get looked at differently. Right. We like, oh, he's a bum.
We're a problem.
He's a bum. He's a problem.
Know me, though.
He's a criminal.
What do you mean?
Every day, bro.
Every day.
Every day. We
Don't
look, get a job or something. How can we?
Man,
Can't help us.
I didn't help that. What you mean?
Yeah,
I didn't know. What you mean?
That's why this is a documentary for homeless people, dog. And that's why dude came up and asked me. And when I see y'all, I'm putting y'all in it too. Because you know why? People need to know. People need to know the truth. And it's not cool at all. We get treated so differently. We looked at differently. Oh, you ain't never gonna change. You always gonna keep riding the circle or riding the fucking Red Pony.
I'm banned from every store.
Every store.
I swear to God, that one.
Every one of them. Every one.
All the way down there. Banned.
The Buckskin stores, we can't even go in.
Don't even bother no one. Just sit there.
And we always ask us a couple dollars or something. And we're out here struggling. Every day. You know, we right now trying to go make some money right now just to raise our freedom. Because we're risking our freedom just to go over here.
Yeah. Look at me, I'm fighting for my freedom.
Exactly. And you know what I'm gonna do? Gotta go. And you know I'm gonna run. And I've been trying, they try to tase me in the back, running. And I still outrun Boulder Police Department.
Look right there, see?
Look right there, see what I'm saying?
Look at him.
Look at him.
Look, about to come over here, watch.
Look. Turn
around.
Yeah, you already know he's about to come right down this way.
Yep.
And he watches me every time. And I'm gonna sit there.
Look, the cop was down there, all the way down there.
He was just looking at me with binoculars on, dog. Somebody just told me that.
Yeah.
And they're over at Cherry Street watching me over there too.
So
they know I'm
they
gonna
was
come over
us
there
too. Look, they know me. They be
just
fucking
look
looking
over
up my
Cherry
name
Street.
without even pulling me over and take me to
What
jail.
we're gonna do about it? We can't sit here and do nothing about it. But that's why we make the documentary and know what we're gonna do about it. This is how we put it on video. This is how we know.
And yeah, I have a drug problem, and that's part of it, bro. I'm trying to get it fixed. But just because I'm homeless don't mean they got to treat me some way, dog. People need to help each other, man. We got to all help each other.
The marriage should be doing help.
Or it's never gonna work, bro.
People do. Sorry,
The homeless people, the homeless.
I don't think truth be told, I think the government don't help them like they should. But it's not the government's problem. They got to do for themselves. So if they don't want to stop using and start working, and then they just this is what you get. So
the community has to be a community, okay? Not against us, for us, okay? Because you're always going to have a homeless man come through here. This is a gateway right through the middle of eastern Kentucky, you know, western. This is all the way to the eastern seaboard. It's a gateway all the way through Lexington. It's a melting pot. You have a mixture and variety of people around here that never been seen before together in the same area, period, let alone, you know, in the community. Stop the hate. Show some love if you can. If you can afford the time to understand that that's what you need to. You know, we're all human beings. We're perfectly made the way we are. We're taught everything we know. So let's start teaching someone else something different. You know what I'm saying? A little bit compassion, not selfishness, not self-centeredness. Not look what I can do. It's not about me. It's about the next man and what I can do for him. It's God talks through me, through him. You know, I might say something that might spark something you've been thinking about for months. And I ain't got a clue what that is. But God's trying to tell you something through me. You know? So if you believe in God or not, find a higher power. Don't trust your luck on a doorknob because it'll turn on. You know what I'm saying? I mean, find you somebody that you can relate to and hang on to them and mimic that for a while. You know what I'm saying? Because it's something new. You are who you are. You know what I'm saying? And I'm who I am. And understand not everybody has a bad motive to hurt anybody. And I want to help somebody if I can, but I can't help nobody if I can't be a light to myself. You know, if I generate light in life, life's going to generate back to me. They're going to see, what's up with that guy?
okay. You'll pay whatever choice you make. You'll pay the consequences, whether it be good, whether it be bad, whether it be jail, whether it be just everything that goes with it. It can overpower you at times. And it can make you even act more stupid, but that doesn't mean you have to, because you always got a choice. We always pay our consequences, whether it be good or bad.
Love and let live, and learn how to let go. Help each other out the best you can, and do it as less cost as possible. You know, if it hurts in your pocket, don't do it, because you got your own family. Just be kind and understanding. Not everybody out here wants to be out here, but we are. And whatever I've done to myself, that's my fault. I understand that. I get that. Not everybody understands that, though. So just remember, Walk a mile in a man's shoes, and you'll understand why he needs a bus door. I mean, you can learn a lot from a dog. I mean, I'm just saying.
How do I visualize myself as being a servant of the Lord, and either giving back to a shelter, helping people. I have a mentoring certificate. I completed HWR in prison, so and I just love them like Jesus. My circumstances, and everybody has different circumstances and different outcomes. But if we just all turn to the Lord, then our outcome is going to be, eternity. So.
Well, you need to ask Jesus for everything you do. If you keep the Lord in your life, things will always be bright. And I could do that.
Learn to love the man or woman in the mirror. You know what I'm saying? Teach yourself how to be responsible and dignified, not selfish and self-centered. Learn how to put some acceptance in some things. You know what I'm saying? Learn how to throw some gratitude with that acceptance, and watch yourself grow. I guarantee it. I mean, that's just the way it is. If you've been through recovery as much as I've been through recovery, you start looking at other things, aspects, you know what I'm saying? Like monetary value. The intellectual pride comes back into view, and I start seeing what you're doing with the money I give you, and I don't like it. You know what I'm saying? Or I begin to start picking you apart for whatever reason. My expectations of you are way up here, and you don't even realize it. I could be mad at you for days about something, and you wouldn't have a clue until you asked me. That's self-centeredness. It drags you down, and it's worse than drugs. Negativity is just worse than any kind of drug I've ever done.
And until you hold yourself accountable, you're not going to get anywhere. You got to hold yourself accountable. You're going to stay in that spot. But one day, I promise you, somebody's going to cross your path. People come in your path either as a lesson or a blessing. And something's going to click, and you're going to go, wow, I'm not the problem. The world's not the problem, but I need to do something about my situation. And that's pretty much how it goes,
I will end it with a prayer. Lord Jesus, look out for the homeless in Bowling Green. Protect them all as they strive to do better. Open the doors at all the places that they can go. Open the doors here at Salvation when they're needed to come in here on the White Flag nights. Let them all be protected by your holy hand, Lord Jesus. In Jesus' holy name, amen.